Loyalty is everything in football, or at least it was once upon a time, so right now who's been at your club the longest? Here is each Premier League club's current longest serving player. But before we start, my good man over at HITC Sevens told me that YouTube have once again changed their notification settings. So to ensure you don't miss a video, make sure you subscribe to HITC Sport and double check that you've got notifications set to all. Anyway, on we go with the video. Arsenal, Laurent Koscielny. Joining the Gunners in 2010, Laurent Koscielny is set to become Arsenal's longest serving player this summer, taking over the Juventus-bound Aaron Ramsey. Koscielny will celebrate 9 years as a Gunner on July 7th, and it's been a pretty good 9 years. The veteran defender developed into one of the best around and has been one of the only consistent performers in a poor Arsenal defence over the years. He's been £8 million well spent. Aston Villa, Jack Grealish. There's been a massive turnover in players at Villa Park in recent years, making Jack Grealish their longest serving player at the age of 23, replacing Alan Hutton, who's leaving the club this summer. Grealish first appeared on the Villa bench in March 2012 at the age of 16, and 2 years later he would make his Premier League debut. Now he's set to embark on another Premier League journey, and this time he's much more equipped to be a hit. Bournemouth, Harry Arter. The Cherries have been on a journey, and Harry Arter has been there for most of it. He joined in 2010 from Charlton at the age of 20 with the club in League One. Arter helped Bournemouth climb the divisions, even establishing himself into the top flight before a loan move to Cardiff last summer. But what will the future hold for Bournemouth's longest serving player? Will Eddie Howe bring him back into the fold, or is this the end of the road? Brighton, Lewis Dunk. The defender signed his first professional contract with the Seagulls back in 2010, and like the previously mentioned Arter, Dunk helped his team go from League One all the way to the Premier League, even getting England recognition along the way. Now the Brighton captain following Bruno's departure, there are rumours that Dunk's lengthy Brighton spell could end this summer, but it wouldn't be the first time he's been linked with a move away and remained on the south coast. Burnley, Kevin Long. Despite barely playing for them, Kevin Long is actually Burnley's longest serving player. The Irish defender arrived at Turf Moor in January 2010, but a lot of time there has been spent out on loan. The 2017-18 season was his best in terms of appearances for Burnley, playing 16 Premier League games. I'm not sure why he's still there, to be honest. Chelsea, Lucas Piathon. Literally as I was making this video, reports emerged that Thomas Callas was leaving Chelsea for Bristol City, meaning I had to change my longest serving player to Lucas Piathon. With Chelsea's loan shenanigans, their longest serving player was always going to be someone who's barely played for the club, and now that Callas is on his way out, Piathon is the top dog. The Brazilian joined in 2012 and has one Premier League appearance to his name. Crystal Palace, Ryan Inniss. Another man who's barely played yet is somehow the club's longest serving player, Ryan Inniss replaces the outgoing Julian Speroni at the top of the loyalty tree. Inniss signed a pro contract with Palace in the summer of 2011, and 8 years on the defender is still there, with just one appearance in all competitions. He's had loan spell after loan spell, as well as off-field issues. Everton, Leighton Baines. King of the mods, Leighton Baines becomes Everton's undisputed longest serving player this summer, signing a new deal while Phil Jagielka heads for the unemployment line. Bainesy has been a great servant at Goodison Park, probably one of the best left-backs in the country, but not the best ever despite some stupid Twitter debate the other day that completely ignored Ashley Cole's existence. Leicester City, Andy King. While the midfielder is no longer a key player at the King Power, Andy King is a Leicester veteran, signing his first professional contract with the Foxes way back in May 2007. He's won 3 trophies with the club, the League One title, the Championship and then the Premier League. But he even lost a shirt number last season to James Maddison, so it looks like he doesn't play at Leicester. Liverpool, Jordan Henderson. To think, this lad lifted the Champions League trophy just a few weeks ago. A lot is said about Jordan Henderson, but the Liverpool captain has proved a lot of doubters wrong over the years and certainly deserves the armband at Anfield. And he's actually their longest serving player, arriving in the summer of 2011 for £20 million, which is impressive considering he's very nearly sold to Fulham just a year later. Manchester City, David Silva. The Spaniard has just confirmed this past week that his time with Man City will end next summer, despite just becoming their longest serving player after Vincent Kompany's exit. Silva moved to City in 2010 from Valencia, and over the past 9 years has established himself as a Premier League great and a Manchester City legend, playing a pivotal role in their rise to the top. Manchester United, Chris Smalling. From a legend in Manchester to a man who fans wish was no longer there, Chris Smalling became a Manchester United player in July 2010. 9 years on, he's still there, still not great, been there longer than anyone else, and more importantly, he's still there. How is he still there? Newcastle United, Paul Dummett. Despite once being told by Alan Pardew that he wouldn't be good enough to play in the Premier League, Paul Dummett is now the Magpies' longest serving player and a solid Premier League left back too. His weird blonde hair hasn't hindered him, and he captained Newcastle at times last season, which seemed a long way away when he signed a pro deal in 2010. Norwich City, Alexander Tettey. You all remember Alex Tettey, he scored that unreal volley a few years ago against Sunderland. Well, after arriving in 2012, the Norwegian enforcer is still a canary, even if his game times have depleted over the past couple of seasons. But will Daniel Farke lean on Tettey's Premier League experience this upcoming campaign? Sheffield United, Chris Basham. Sadly not one of the Basham brothers of WWE fame, Chris has been a Blade since 2014, which is enough to make him their longest serving player. I've just noticed we share a birthday actually, 20th July if anyone's interested to send me a present, or Chris. Anyway, he's nothing flash, but Basham has been a reliable player for Chris Wilder, barely missing a game over the last few seasons. Southampton, James Ward-Prowse. A set-piece expert and a bit of a shithouse nowadays, James Ward-Prowse was a Southampton veteran despite being just 24 years old. To be honest, it's amazing he hasn't been snapped up by anyone else. He became a Saints first teamer in October 2011, and a year later he made his league debut away at Man City. Quite the baptism of fire. Tottenham, Danny Rose. You forget how long Danny Rose has actually been at Tottenham, but the England international joined in 2007 from Leeds. 12 years on, let's look at all the trophies he's won. Okay, never mind. Rose is now a Tottenham veteran and isn't afraid to speak his mind about the big issues in football, which is commendable. Watford, Troy Deeney. Never in doubt, was it? With Watford's turnover of players, Troy Deeney was always going to be their longest serving player. He moved to Vicarage Road in the summer of 2010 and he's been a goal machine in yellow across the years, going on to captain the club. He's a natural leader and he turns 31 today, so happy birthday Troy. West Ham, Mark Noble. Again, this one was never in doubt. Of course Mark Noble is West Ham's longest serving player. He's the longest serving player in the whole Premier League. Noble made his West Ham first team debut back in 2004 and 50 years on and the lad is still at the heart of their midfield, even if he has slowed down a bit lately. Sadly, I don't think he's ever going to get that England cap. And finally Wolves, Matt Doherty. Wolves have changed a lot as a football club in recent years, but one constant is Matt Doherty, who lived through the bad times as well as the good. The Irish wingback joined Wolves in 2010, and during his 9 years he's gone from the Premier League down to League One and all the way back up to the Premier League, and this season he'll represent them in the Europa League. So that's every Premier League club's current longest serving player. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.